Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my new channel. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited that you are here watching. And I thank you guys so much for tuning in and for clicking on this video. It means so much to me, really. It does. I'm just so excited to start this journey. It's really new, it's really unknown. I have no idea what I'm doing as far as the YouTube sides of things. Because I've never done this before, and so I fully expect these first few videos to be not easy. They may not be the best. I might be awkward, and I am being awkward right now, and that's just how it's going to be for a little while until I get more used to this. So yeah, here we are. We are here, finally together. So, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my makeup, and I'm going to explain a little bit of kind of what my journey with makeup has been like, and yeah, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what this channel is kind of going to be about, my likes and dislikes as far as makeup and skincare, so that you guys can know what to expect. And for today's makeup look that I'm going to be doing, it's mainly just going to be the makeup that I kind of do when I am going somewhere or whatever, and I'm going to put on makeup and I don't really have something specific in mind that I want to do, I will just put on this. This is my basic everyday, not super everyday, but my basic look that I'll just put on if I have to go out somewhere. And it is just makeup that makes me feel confident and makes me feel good about the way I look. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So to prep my skin, I am first going to go in with the Glossier Future Dew. I'm going to rub that in with my fingers. I'm trying not to use my pointer finger on this hand because I cut myself. I cut myself last night when I was cooking, and look, I was just trying to feed my husband and myself, and I cut myself because that's just life. So I'm trying to avoid pressing that into my skin since there is a little cut there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my base. And something that you should note if you're gonna be here watching my channel, I really like mixing my foundation products. I love mixing in primers, I love mixing in serums, I love mixing foundations together. I love it, because I feel like I just get a very custom finish, custom match, because sometimes I'll mix in a product if a certain foundation doesn't exactly match my skin tone. I will mix in something else so that it kind of forms a little bit better to my skin. So today I'm going to be mixing the Makeup Forever Reboot foundation, and this is the shade Y225, and mixing that with the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint SPF 40, and this is the shade ST5 Bomb Bomb, B-O-M, Bomb Bomb. So I'm first going to start with rubbing my foundation into my skin with just my fingers. I really find that first going in with my hands really warms up the product and melts it down into my skin. Now I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and blend that further into my skin to take away some excess product. Get a little bit of that product that's left on the back of my hand onto my beauty blender and just start blending. The story with me is almost 4 years ago, I was living in California and developed eczema on my face, and it was really, really rough at first. I developed it around my eyes, on my eyelids, and my under eyes would get really red, puffy, and my skin was flaking off, and it was quite painful, and it was really sensitive to like everything. I could do like nothing with it, and I didn't know what to do about it. I really thought that it could just be that I've lived in southern humid climates my whole life, and moving to a super dry climate and living there for almost 2 years at that point, or over a year at that point, I thought that that was just affecting my skin and drying me out. Then when I moved home to Georgia from California, I thought that it kind of might sort itself out once the climate got back to normal and my skin kind of readjusted, but it did not. That was not the case. My eczema was continuing, and it spread from my eyelids and under eyes. I had it here along my outsides of my mouth. You can see I still have some right here today. And I got it down my neck, this whole area here under my chin, and on my earlobes as well. They were fully like separating from my head, and it was quite painful and really not a fun time overall. Then I started just trying to figure out with my dermatologist what was going on and what could possibly be the problem. I got tested for allergies, and I ended up like cutting out different things from my diet to see if that was affecting my skin. It was not. And the only thing that seemed to be affecting my skin and my eczema flare-ups was my menstrual cycle. And so I really think that it's most likely just hormonal. It hasn't been confirmed yet, because truly this has just been like a almost 4-year journey of figuring out how to deal with this. And we're at the point now where I've had to completely change up the things that I put on my skin, and including skincare and makeup. And I've had to read a lot into ingredients and what can irritate your skin versus what is going to comfort and soothe sensitive skin. Also, I just went in on my under eyes and different places with the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector in the shade light to medium. I love this, going underneath areas that I just want to brighten up. I honestly, once I started using this, I can't go back. It's so pretty. I really love the way that it just brightens up my face, and it's not too thick, it's not cakey. When I put it underneath products, it like never cakes up or anything. So I'm just gonna blend that out. It really helps brighten up, especially right here on the outer corner of my under eye right here. I have some dark spots that have a hard time being covered, and this really does help it a lot. So yeah, I was just trying to figure out what would work for my skin versus what wouldn't work for my skin, and it's been a journey. But I have finally it's settled down quite a lot. Even just this year, 2020, starting in like January time, it really started to settle down, and I got less flare-ups, and the flare-ups that I would get were way less intense. Like right now, I'm kind of on the way to a flare-up right now. If you can see a little bit of outline of redness right here along the sides of my mouth, and even on my eyelids, they're getting a little red. It might get a little bit redder than this, but it will not get as bad as it used to. That's kind of how I kind of started reading into ingredients and things. But as far as makeup, beforehand I was pretty basic as far as when it came to makeup. Growing up and being a teenager in early 20s, I didn't really care and just used whatever. Then when I was looking into ingredients as far as skincare and things, I kind of just through that started looking into makeup and things like that. And so I kind of became interested in what my skin could look like, and I had to change up a lot of what I put on my skin because my face got even drier than it used to be. I had normal to dry skin, I would say, in high school especially. I didn't really have any skin problems. I wouldn't break out a ton. Yeah, my skin got even drier, and so I really have to use a lot of super hydrating products, and I really like the look of light coverage and sheer skin tint foundation products on my skin. And so that's kind of what you'll be getting from me on this channel, is really dewy, light, skin-like kind of looks as far as my skin. And that's kind of my favorite part of makeup, honestly, is the skin and doing my skin and my cheeks and things like that. I love it. So just from there, I think it just grew into what it is today. I just found that I really liked doing my makeup, and it became such a therapeutic thing for me. That's why, honestly, doing YouTube is such a different thing, because me having to talk to a camera the whole time is kind of strange. It feels weird because for me, the last couple of years, makeup has really just been like an escape for me, just a place for me to just relax and just not really think about anything. Like I can just kind of mindlessly do my makeup and focus on that and really clear my mind, and it's kind of just like almost like a meditative state for me. So right now I'm going in with the Glossier Stretch Concealer. This is the shade G11. This might be my favorite concealer of all time. I love it so much. It's a nice, I'd say light to medium coverage. It's really dewy, obviously. And normally I wouldn't take concealer up here on my forehead, but I do just have a nice little bump coming up under my skin there that's getting pretty red. So I'm just gonna put a little extra coverage on it so that we can mask that a little bit. And I am actually going to take a little bit of my concealer as well down my face towards where I have my little eczema patches that are kind of popping up, just so I can cover some of that discoloration, the redness that is popping. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with, I'm going to go into the eye area. I'm going to do my eyes and my eyebrows kind of next. I'm going to start out by putting some eyeshadow primer down on my eyelids. I don't think there's a super huge difference between eyeshadow primers. I mean, I think that you can even use like a matte concealer, but for me a matte concealer does dry out my eyelids, so I prefer to use a primer because it's not as drying for me. As long as you have some kind of base down that is a little sticky even, that will kind of grab onto the eyeshadow and adhere it to your eyelid a little better, I think that that's fine. I'm just going to put a little bit of that on each of my eyelids. Nothing came off that time. Now I'm just going to take a little brush. This is a Real Techniques brush, in case you were wondering. You probably weren't wondering, but in case you were. I'm just going to blend that out. So I'm going to wait for this to dry down just a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and start on my brows. So first, with my brows, I look like I have no brows almost, and they are so thin, and I've barely ever plucked them in my entire life, never gotten them done or anything, but they just look like this because my eyebrow hairs are some of them are light brown, the ones you can see, but most of them are blonde, just like my eyelashes that you cannot see because they're blonde. That's my life. So to start out with my eyebrows, I really like taking a tinted brow gel through them first. This one is from Emma Cosmetics. It is their microfiber micro fluff, one of those. Brow cream. This is the shade Brunette. I'm going to take a closer mirror and just lightly run this through my eyebrows. That was unnecessary. Yeah, so I love doing this because they're already most of the way filled in, and it really shows me exactly where I need to further fill in with a brow pencil. This particular brow gel has a really nice hold to it, so it will hold my brows up because I really like a nice fluffy brow, and so I do brush them up first so that I can fill in from the bottom with my pencil. But first I'm going to let this dry down just a little bit. I want it to get a little bit dried down so that it can have a little bit more of a hold to it before I go in with my pencil. So in the meantime, I'm going to go in with some eyeshadow since my primers had some time to dry down. I'm going in with the Victoria Beckham Smoky Eye Brick, and this is the shade Tweed. Here are the shades inside. I'm pretty much just going to use this light brown right here all up on my lid because it's so pretty, but I really love all these shades in here. They're so nice. So first I'm going to go in with a nice fluffy little brush, and I'm going to start real light with this shadow, and I'm just going to lightly start layering this through my crease. I'm going to go in again with just a little bit more pigment. And the deeper that I go, the more pigment that I put on my eyelid. I'm going to start concentrating it towards this outer corner over here so that I get a nice gradient. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go in with a fluffier brush, not a fluffier, just another fluffy brush, but it's clean. It has no pigment on it at all. And I'm just going to go over the very top edges, all around the edges of this shadow, and blend that out further. I'm gonna get a little bit more precise. I'm gonna take this this pretty small, like, here, I'll compare it. This is the original brush that I used, and this is the next one that I'm gonna use. It's a lot smaller, still very fluffy, but just much, much smaller. I am just using that exact same color. I haven't gone in with a different color at all. So next, for the lid on my eyes, I'm going in with the Natasha Denona Chroma Crystal Top Coat. This is the shade Nude. This thing is like a classic for me. Really love it. Yeah, do you see how that just gave me just like a nice, almost like, I mean, it really does just look glossy on my eyelid. I love it. So next I'm gonna go ahead and go in with mascara. And I'm gonna curl my eyelashes. And then I'm gonna go in with my mascara. This is the L'Oreal, there's no name on it. What's it called? It's called the L'Oreal Extra Volume Collagen Mascara. That's right, that's what it is. Okay, so I just went in with one layer of mascara because I have such small little baby lashes. I do have to build my mascara up pretty good, and the best way I found to do that is to let it dry and then go on with another coat. So while I'm letting that first coat dry, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my brow pencil to fill in the rest of my brows. And this is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. This is the shade 3. So I'm just going in with this pencil into the really, really sparse areas of my brow. Alrighty, I'm happy with that. So I just filled those in, brushed them up with this little spoolie on the end, and shaped them out. So I'm happy with that. Next, I'm going to go in again with another layer of mascara. Feeling good about that. Something that I learned from Katie Jane Hughes. She is a professional makeup artist. She does a lot of celebrities and models and things like that, and she is on Instagram at Katie Jane Hughes. She is an amazing makeup teacher that you can just watch on Instagram. She does lives all the time. If you don't know about her, she is the best. But something that I learned from her recently is to take your hands, once you've applied your base, and press it into your skin. Press your hands into your skin and just let the warmth of your hands remove any excess product. And you don't want to press hard, obviously, just place them on your skin. So I really love that trick. That's super fun. So next I am going to put a little bit of eyeshadow underneath my lower lash line. I really just find that it really completes the look. And I think I do want to clean up my eyeshadow a little bit just on the outer edges. I like to have my eyeshadow pulled out because I feel like it really lifts my face. And I don't want it to be at too of a high angle because I don't want it to run into my eyebrows. That's the thing, is you don't ever want your eyeshadow to go past your eyebrows. So I am just going to go back into that same Glossier concealer that I used, and I'm going to take this little brush. It's a really nice dense little brush, and it's angled, and so I really like it for doing this because the shape is really nice. So I'm just taking a little bit. I'm not like swirling it and digging, I'm just dabbing. And I'm just gonna actually even dab the excess on the back of my hand so that I don't have too much product on the brush. And so with that, I am just gonna go in like this along those edges, and I'm just gonna shape up that eyeshadow. And now I'm going to go in with my little bitty eyeshadow brush. I'm going to go into that same light brown shade from this Victoria Beckham palette, and I'm just going to run this along my lower lash line, and I'm starting at the outer corner with the most pigmentation and working my way in, blending the excess pigment towards the inner corner, and not taking it all the way in. I'm only taking it to about 3/4 of the way in, because I find that it really just opens my eyes up when I don't have a lot of dark product on my inner corners. So I keep the darker shadows to the outer corners, and it really opens my eyes up to look really bright. And I think the difference is pretty clear of what eyeshadow underneath my lower lash line does versus without. It really just, I don't know, I just feel like this looks incomplete, whereas this looks a lot more put together. That's the eyes all complete. So now for the rest of the face, I'm gonna go in with the bronzer. That's the next thing you should know about what this channel is gonna be like. I really like bronzer. It's like one of my favorite things about makeup. I love bronzers. I have too many of them for sure. I'm first gonna go in with a powder bronzer. This is from Revlon. This is the Skin Lights bronzer. This is the shade Sunlit Glow 110. This is one of the best things to come out of the drugstore in a minute. I don't know that I've loved a bronzer from the drugstore this much since I discovered the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Now, and this bronzer is, I don't know, I might like it better. I don't know. It might be crazy. But what I love about this bronzer, let me tell you, is it is not a shimmery bronzer, because it's not like shimmery. It's a glowy bronzer is what I would call it. So I'll show you what I mean. You can see it right here on my hand. It's not shimmery. It's not like metallic. It's just glowy. And the other thing I really like about this bronzer is it is really sheer. It builds up really well. I love a good sheer bronzer that I can just build up in layers so that it's not like I just tap it on my face and it's like, too much pigment immediately, you know what I mean? Even though I don't usually set my face with powder because of the dryness, you know, this still blends over really, really beautifully. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there with this bronzer because yes, I am going in with a second bronzer because, as I said, I already warned you, I really like bronzer. So I'm going in with a cream bronzer. Now, oftentimes you will hear it is not recommended to go on top of powders with creams because of separation and blah, 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 blah. And here's why that is. It's because that is usually the case if you use too much powder. If you have too many powder products on your face, that is usually the case, but it is not the case here today or ever here on my channel because I did not use a ton of powder products. Also, I don't set my face. I might put a little bit of powder somewhere if I have like a pimple that I want to help disguise, but I'm feeling okay. And I don't set my under eyes, as I mentioned, because of how dry they are. So I'm obviously not going to put powder there. But I am going to take cream bronzer, and this is from Fenty Beauty. It is the Fenty Cream Cheeks Out Bronzer. This is the shade Butter Biscuit, and it is so pretty. I really like this tone. It's a nice neutral, not super cool toned, definitely not warm toned bronzer, and it's they have so many shades in this bronzer. It's really beautiful. And the formula, again, similar to the powder bronzer, is really sheer. I mean, I can just blend into this sucker and it really is not going to come off too strong. Look at that. Bam. It's beautiful. I just tapped off my brush because I usually do that, but this is cream, so nothing's gonna tap off. Anyway, I'm gonna just stipple this specific bronzer right here into the contours of my face, and I'm taking it from the top of my ear in an angle down towards my mouth. And I want to feel with my brush where my cheekbone is, and I want to go just a little bit to where I'm touching the under part of my cheekbone. I don't want to take it down here because then I'm dragging my face down. I want to bring it up so that I lift my cheekbones and I'm not sagging my face. And as you just saw me do a little bit ago, I did take some on the sides of my nose. I'm just doing like a light contour. It's not really intense. I do that every time with my cream bronzer or whatever contour product I'm using. Because yeah, it just slims my nose down just a little bit. And mainly I do it because I feel like it looks weird if I don't. I just want a little bit of product on my nose to kind of define it the same way I'm defining the rest of my face. So yeah, I think I've bronzed enough. I really could keep going. Here's the thing. I really could keep going with bronzer because that's just how much I love it. It's just where we're at. So next, I am going to go in with I think I am going to powder a little bit because I do have a couple of little bumps on my forehead here. You can see this one poking through a little bit. I am going to go ahead and powder just the smallest amount. And I'm going to show you how I powder so that you can know. I recommend this Hourglass Veil translucent setting powder. What I do is I take this small little brush, this little face brush, it's fluffy. So I'm going to take only what's in this cap here, and I'm going to swirl it into my brush. And I'm swirling for a while because I really want to work it into the bristles of the brush. And then I'm going to tap off the excess, and I'm going to go in with the lightest little hand. So now I'm going to go in with, not blush, I'm going to go in with highlighter next. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow. And this is in this shade too. They have several shades of this. It's honestly, it looks like a little skin tone type color in the bottle here. This bottle is so beautiful. But that's kind of what I really like about it. You can use this underneath your makeup, on top of your makeup, mixed in with your foundation. However you want to use it, you can use it that way. And it comes this nice glass bottle with this nice doe foot applicator that I really like to use so that I can just kind of draw it on. So now I'm going to go in, now that I look real cute, I'm going to go in with my Beauty Blender once again. And I'm just going to use the small end of this to blend that in. And it really just gives you like a nice, not so much shiny effect, but a nice dewy kind of glow, rather than like a metallic shimmery highlighter. That is nice and blended in, and I've just added a lot more glow back to my face. Love it. This is like, it's definitely on like my very top favorite products list, for sure. So next, I'm going in with blush. And I'm going to be using this new Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush. This is the shade She Is So LA. This is really, really beautiful. So it has this powder right here, and there's a little flappy flap that covers up the cream part of this product. And so what Patrick Ta himself recommends is to go in with the powder first. And I really have just been enjoying using a little fan brush for my powder blushes. I think it just applies it really sheerly, and it's just like a little kiss, so I can just swoop, swoop. Now I'm going to go in with this cream side on this little brush here. I'm just going to dab into that and take that over top. The last thing, lips. I'm going to go in first with this M Cosmetics lip liner. What is it actually called? M Cosmetics Soft Blur Velvet Lip Liner. This is the shade Fawn. These came out not that long ago. And for my lipstick kind of product, I'm going in with this L'Oreal Color Reach Shine Lipstick in the shade Glossy Fawn 900. This thing is an OG for me. I have been using this literally since the day these came out. As they came out, I heard about them and was like, gotta go to Walmart and get this. So I did, and it's been my best friend ever since. I've gone through 3 or 4 tubes of this lipstick. It is so beautiful. It's so shiny. It's so sheer. It's so balmy, and it's really comfortable. It feels really thin on the lips. And with that, my first YouTube video is complete. We are here at the end. I have expressed to you my skin journey, how I came to be here today, obsessed with makeup. Here we are. Yeah, so this is kind of just my, as I mentioned earlier, as I've said multiple times now, my kind of go-to look if I need to put on makeup to go somewhere. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and for supporting me by watching this video, and for being here at the launch of something really new for me. I'm definitely nervous, but I'm also really excited for what's to come and to see where this goes and to do more fun makeup looks with you guys and to talk about skincare and keep it really simple and just have fun together, learning and growing. So if you want to be here to learn and grow with me in makeup and skincare things and beauty overall, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and like this video. Watch it again if you feel like it. Go ahead and hit that little bell that's down there below the video so that you can know when I upload again. Please do. Also, follow me on Instagram if you aren't already. It is at madison.c.wall. You should do that. Yeah, so here we are. It's the end of the video. I'm proud if you've made it this far. And I thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!